One of the things that you need, regardless of what country you're moving to, is some sort of banking option. And we get asked all the time, are Serbian banks reliable? Can foreigners open up a bank account in Serbia? And is it worth it? And today I'm going to talk to you about banking history here in Serbia, what the banks offers here, and is it right for you? So are Serbian banks reliable? Well, that is something that depends on who you ask. If you ask people here in Serbia, they've been pretty hesitant when it comes to Serbian banks, just simply how it used to be in the past. You go to some of these villages here in Serbia and they've built 6, 7, 8,000 square foot houses simply because they never trusted to put money in the banks. And so what they ended up doing is putting it into their house or into real estate. However, banks here in Serbia have come a long way. And something that you need to understand is that they are actually pretty well on par with many EU banks or many global banks around the world. Now, the Serbian banks are reliable in a number of reasons. And the first one is that the banks are regulated by the National Bank of Serbia with a strict oversight and EU-aligned regulations. There are 29 commercial banks here in Serbia, majority foreign owned, such as Raiffeisen, which I believe is Austrian owned. You have UniCredit, you have OTP, which I believe also is Austrian, and if not Hungarian. And then you have Banca Intesa, which is an Italian-based bank. Now, a lot of these banks have a strong capital base. They have a good solvency rate that is above the EU minimum, which is fantastic. They have deposit insurance. Now, the deposit insurance is substantial, but in my mind, it's not high enough, but it's at least something. And so many banks offer up to 50,000 euros of deposit insurance. 50,000 euros isn't really much money for some of our clients, including me. Like 50,000 euros, that's great, but what happens to the rest of it? But at least it's something. They also have their non-performing loans are down to 3 to 4% as of today. They are off the FATF gray list, which they exited in 2019, which, if you look at it, is not many years ago, but it's actually, better than still being in that system alone. So that is seen as being compliant and safe for banking. Now, some of the client issues that do arise is that they have a pretty good system when it comes to online platforms or applications or e-banking for that matter. However, like I've said in many of our other videos, is that the customer service can be inconsistent. And so depending on where you go, you might deal with someone who woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or you might wake up to someone who is a delight to work with. And so you have a whole array of people. And we have actually had one of our clients that he actually developed a whole spreadsheet of every single bank that is here in Serbia, even one that I didn't know that existed here, and that was a bank from Dubai. And he went to every single one to determine what kind of customer service that they had, what kind of services that they had to offer, what kind of incentives they had to offer. And it was quite interesting to see how detailed this individual went when it came to his banking, homework. And, if you're watching this video, you know who you are. And it's been a pleasure working with you up until now. And we're just about to close out his final stage of his process here in Serbia. Now, what Relocation's Serbia solution is that we help clients guide them through what is not only the most stable bank, but also what is the most foreign-friendly bank as well, with the best English-speaking staff. So we've had a number of individuals that went to open up their bank account for their business and they got denied. And something that we offer here is our team or one of our team members goes out with you to a bank and opens up that bank account for you, or with you, should I say. But this individual decided, I'm going to go and do things on my own. I want to try things, and that's fine. And we have no issues with people trying to do things on their own here in Serbia. In fact, I applaud people that are trying to do things in a foreign country on their own, because that way you're integrating into society. You're getting the real deal of how things operate here in Serbia. And after a number of denials, he ended up getting one of our team members to go out with them, and within a couple days he had a bank account open, not only up for his business but for his personal banking as well. Now, the next question is it easy to open up a bank account as a foreigner? Now, yes, you can open up a bank account here as a foreigner, but the problem is that it's not always smooth. So what are some of the requirements you will need is your passport for sure. And then you'll also need some sort of proof of residency. So this can be actually your residency card or your white paper that you get when you register, or that you should get when you register within 24 hours of entering Serbia. And then they also may ask for proof of income as well. But that won't always grant you the bank account as well. So if you're coming in here as a foreigner and you're just looking to open up a bank account without having temporary residency, which I mean by your ID card, now you could have that bank account open just simply with your passport and your beli karton is what we call it, or white paper, and that's fine, and you'll have a bank account open. But the problem with that is that you are not going to have the full service of having a bank account. So you won't be able to get onto your phone app and do any e-banking. You won't get any cards. Anything that you do, you must physically go and see a teller. Now, if your whole idea is just, I want a bank account in Serbia, and that works for you, who am I to judge? But if you're looking for the whole package of e-banking applications, desktop, having your cards as well, well, then you're going to have to actually become a temporary resident, start a business here, be a citizen, whatever it might be, in order to have that full package deal. Some banks also will not allow non-residents here. Now, that also depends on which bank you're going to. So I know, for instance, a lot of the state-owned banks, they don't want to deal with non-residents. Some of these larger international banks, such as Raiffeisen's Bank of Intesa, they may, depending on the country that you're coming in from, allow you to open it up as a non-resident. Some of the other issues you're going to have to look at is, where are you from? If you are an individual from the United States, a lot of these banks, they don't want to deal with you as a U.S. citizen, and they're not going to tell you this, because one of the things that these banks have the option to do is to deny you for whatever reason it is. And a lot of these banks don't want to deal with U.S. citizens who are dealing with their double taxation across the world, filling out extra forms such as FATCA, whatever it might be. And so there is a number of banks that will open up bank accounts for U.S. clients, but then you don't have the option of just simply picking and choosing what bank account you're going to be or what bank you're going to be working with. Now, what are the timelines for opening up a bank account here? Well, that depends on what type of bank account you're opening up. Is it for an individual? If you have your temporary residency, that could be done typically the same day, maybe 48 hours. If it's a business bank account, that could take up to a couple weeks simply just to get approved, because they want to make sure that it's a legit business. I've mentioned this before in other videos. And then it may take another week after that to simply get your cards for your business account. Now, what are some of the benefits of opening a Serbian bank account? Well, the one thing that I love here at Relocation Serbia is because we work with international clients is that I am able to open up, and many of our other clients are that come from out of the country because they earn money from another country, they're getting a pension from another country, they have international clients, is that they're able to have flexible currency. So you're able to open up an RSD dinar account, which is the currency here in Serbia. You're allowed to open up a euro account, you're allowed to open up a USD account and other accounts as well. And that's all under that one account. So you can just simply say, hey, listen, I need three accounts. I need an RSD, I need a euro, and I need a USD account, or I need a Australian account, whatever it might be. The other one that I also enjoy, and many of our clients, especially that are setting up businesses here and working with international clients, is that you have international reach when it comes to having an IBAN number. You have SWIFT numbers. Debit cards are, usable worldwide, which is also beautiful. One of the things that I also like is that the privacy advantage here in Serbia with their banks not being part of the CRS reporting system, so less automatic info sharing of your personal information to other countries. Now, some of these countries won't like that, but that's their problem. That's the beautiful thing about moving to Serbia and opening up a bank account here. Now, the other one that it has here is that it has low fees. Now, this is a discrepancy, especially for me as a business owner here. Low fees is what it means is running that account. So in order to have a bank account here in Serbia and having your maintenance fees much similar to other countries, it's fairly cheap, anywhere between 5 and 10 euros on an annual basis. Sometimes it's going to be 5 euros a month, depending on the type of business card or business account that you're looking to open up, but that's still substantially less than many other countries. The only part that I don't see low fees on is if you're accepting money from international clients. You're going to get dinged a certain percentage of your incoming fees, and there's no really workaround on that. The way I worked around on that, and I've seen other clients do that, is either they have a Wise account or they have a Payoneer account, and they have their clients pay them into that. But if you're looking to directly put your money into a bank account, well, you're going to have to deal with some of those additional fees when it comes from monies coming in from international clients. I mentioned already that there's deposit insurance up to 50,000 euros. You have pretty modern tech when it comes to online and mobile banking. I love paying my bills through a QR code scan. I can also send money pretty easily within Serbia here. So I love that sense of banking as well. Some of the banks here, especially the state-owned banks, don't have the best online or mobile banking. So that's why I'd highly recommend go to some of these bigger banks. The other one is that you have a great strategic location for banking here. You have the gateway to the EU. You're in the Balkans, and you have pretty much worldwide accessibility when it comes to that. Now, one of the other things that we've seen that clients have issues are with some of the banks is with their strict compliance, right? They want to see what money you're bringing in here, what's the origin of the money. Some of them have not dealt with such strict compliance. So it all depends on who you're working with, how much money you're looking to bring in, and what is the nature of that. And simply because the banks here used to be into some of those gray areas, they want to make sure that they're not in that gray area anymore and they stay compliant. And so what we do here is help a lot of our clients, regardless if it's their personal account or business account, establish bank accounts here. But those are some of the reasons that I believe that the banks here in Serbia are reliable, they're foreign friendly, and they're simply worth it. What are your thoughts, and are you thinking of opening up a bank account here in Serbia? If you are and you don't want any headaches, feel free to reach out to us.